The public first knew Seo In-guk as the humble, tearful winner of a singing competition, the boy from a poor town who defied the odds. But that fairy tale narrative began to crack almost immediately. The industry, built on a specific blueprint for idol perfection, didn't know what to do with him. He wasn't a tall, chiseled visual. He was a raw talent with an ordinary face, and this became his first quiet controversy. Netizens and industry insiders alike whispered that his win was a fluke, a sentimental story that had won over actual star quality. This undercurrent of dismissal followed him as he attempted to launch his music career, with every release being compared not to his vocal ability, but to the polished performances of idol groups. He was fighting for legitimacy in a system that had already decided he didn't belong, a battle that created a deep-seated insecurity and a need to prove himself that would define his every future move. His pivot to acting was seen not as a natural evolution, but as an invasion. This was his first major public-facing controversy. The gatekeepers of Korean drama, directors, producers, and a vocal section of the audience were skeptical. The phrase "yet another singer trying to act" was thrown at him like a weapon. Every one of his early roles was met with a wave of online criticism, with commenters on portals like Naver and Dom picking apart his every line delivery and expression. They claimed he was taking food off the tables of real actors, that he was using his singing fame as a backdoor into an industry that required more refined skill. This period was a trial by fire. The controversy wasn't about a single event, but about his very right to exist in this new space. It forced him into a corner where he had to deliver not just good, but exceptional performances to simply be taken seriously, creating a pressure cooker environment that would set the stage for the more explosive scandals to come. Just as his acting was beginning to gain traction with acclaimed roles in projects like Reply 1997, a legal and personal earthquake hit, the military enlistment scandal. In 2014, he was classified as a public service worker due to a degenerative disc condition. What should have been a private medical matter exploded into a national controversy. The court of public opinion convened instantly on social media and online forums. The whispers became shouts. Netizens speculated without evidence but with immense conviction that he had used his celebrity status to pull strings, that his back injury was a convenient excuse to avoid the hardship of active duty. Tabloids ran stories comparing him to other celebrities who had served in active duty, implicitly questioning his patriotism and masculinity. The label Draft Dodger began to trend, a toxic brand that threatened to permanently stain his image of sincerity and hard work. His agency was forced to issue multiple statements, and Seo In-guk himself had to publicly address the issue, the stress and humiliation visible in his carefully worded defenses. This scandal was a turning point. It was no longer about his talent, but his character. It revealed the dark side of fame in Korea, the public's ownership over a celebrity's body and their national duty. The controversy lingered for years, a cloud that refused to dissipate, resurfacing with every mention of his name in comment sections, a permanent scar on his digital footprint. Amid this professional firestorm, his personal life became a breeding ground for rumor and intense speculation. His fierce privacy, an understandable reaction to the military scandal, was interpreted as secrecy. In the world of K-pop and K-drama fandom, where fans feel a sense of ownership, silence is not golden. It's an invitation to investigation. Rumors of a secret relationship with his The Smile Has Left Your Eyes co-star Jung So-min ran rampant. Online detective communities known as K-netizens dissected every frame of their interviews, looking for lingering glances or subtle body language. They cross-referenced Instagram posts, searching for matching backgrounds or items that could serve as proof of a hidden romance. The more the two actors remained silent, the more fervent the speculation became. This created an impossible situation. Any acknowledgement could fuel the frenzy, but denial felt disingenuous for a drama whose plot relied on a deep, tragic romance. This controversy was less about a specific fact and more about the erosion of his private self. It highlighted how the line between an actor's on-screen persona and their off-screen life is deliberately blurred by marketing, but violently enforced by fans, turning potential human connection into a public conspiracy theory. When the military controversy seemed to have finally faded, a new modern form of scandal emerged, one tailored for the social media age. A 2022 photoshoot intended to be artistic and avant-garde was interpreted by a wave of netizens as culturally insensitive. The details are less important than the reaction. Within hours, screenshots of the photos were circulating on Twitter with angry captions, hashtags demanding an apology began to trend, and his Instagram was flooded with comments ranging from disappointment to outright fury. This was the phenomenon of cancel culture in its purest form, swift, judgmental, and operating on the the perception of harm rather than proven intent. There was no trial, no jury, just the immediate verdict of the online mob. His team was likely faced with a difficult choice: apologize for something they may not have believed was wrong, or stay silent and be permanently branded as problematic. This incident, while perhaps less legally severe than the military issue, was in some ways more insidious. It demonstrated that his every creative output, every public appearance, could be a potential landmine. It forced him and his agency to operate in a constant state of risk assessment, where artistic expression is weighed against the potential for misinterpretation by a digitally empowered and often unforgiving audience. So, where does this relentless cycle of controversy leave Seo In-guk? He is a case study in modern celebrity, where talent is only the entry fee, and your reputation is constantly being negotiated in the volatile court of public opinion. The boy who dreamed of singing now navigates a career where every decision is shadowed by the ghosts of past scandals. His choice of roles has become increasingly strategic, often leaning into complex, morally gray characters that perhaps mirror his own perceived struggles in the public eye. There is a palpable wariness in his public appearances, a guardedness that speaks to a man who has learned the hard way that trust is fragile and fame is fickle. The initial controversy of not being idle enough now seems almost quaint compared to the accusations of draft dodging and cultural insensitivity that followed. His story forces us to reflect on the immense human cost of this kind of relentless scrutiny. What does it do to a person to have their body, their relationships, and their art perpetually policed by millions? As he continues his career, the question isn't just what's next for Seo In-guk, but rather what has this journey truly cost him? He has survived, yes, but as a far more complex and guarded figure than the tearful young man who just wanted the world to hear his voice, a testament to the fact that in today's world, building a career is one thing, but protecting your humanity from the constant threat of controversy is an entirely different battle.